Oh, oh my god. Scared the shit out of me, Bilbo. Don't do that. This is ground mustard seed. Got it from Shaw's. Literally, there's a chemical. Oh, there's something in my beard. No, it's not. There's a chemical in broccoli and all cruciferous vegetables called cruciferous. I'm so dumb. It's called sulforaphane. I was thinking of cruciferous vegetables and sulforaphane at the same time. Sulforaphane. And mustard is actually a cruciferous vegetable, by the way. So is wasabi, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. Horseradish is actually the number one potent cruciferous vegetable when it comes to nutrients, nutrient per calorie, that is. But essentially, when you cook broccoli, you inactivate myocyanase, which is the enzyme that is required to create sulforaphane. When you chop up the broccoli, it creates this enzyme. But if I'm sorry for talking wingdings. Long story short, when you cook broccoli, it inactivates the enzyme myocyanase, which is a precursor enzyme that creates sulforaphane. And when you inactivate it, you don't get the most powerful brain nutrient, sulforaphane, activated. All you have to do is chop the broccoli up. That's the cutting chops the broccoli and the myocyanase activates when it gets cut or bitten into if it's not cooked. Now, if it is cooked, a lot of people don't want to chop up the broccoli and you have to wait like 30 minutes for the sulforaphane to fully activate after you chop it. And then you can cook it and you'll be okay. It's called the chop and whack or the whack and wait technique. But if you are lazy like me and don't want to do all that stuff, after you cook it, just add a cruciferous vegetable to it, like mustard seed powder on your. So if you add mustard seed powder onto your cruciferous vegetable, or horseradish, a tablespoon of horseradish, no more than a tablespoon, because that shit's potent in nutrients, and that's all you need for your daily intake to be taken up. So when you add that, it adds the enzyme, especially raw organic shit, it adds the enzyme myocyanase back into the food, allowing the precursor to do its job and create sulforaphane. Or, if you're really serious about your health, you can get something like this. Organic broccoli seeds. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you right now. We're going to get our dirt out. I haven't done this in a while. But we're going to actually grow broccoli. Not just any broccoli. We're going to grow broccoli sprouts. Technically, in the botanical community, there's a difference between sprouts. So there's a difference between sprouts and microgreens. Microgreens are healthier, and I'll explain why. Sprouts are when you have those little mason jars in your kitchen, and you obviously wash your seeds in hydroperoxide first so you can prevent bacteria. But after you clean your seeds like a responsible adult, then you put your seeds in the mason jar and keep it in a dark cabinet and add a little water, and eventually those seeds will sprout in a jar. Now, it's done hydroponically because it's done without soil. Now, all the seeds have to draw their nutrition from is water. Unless you're adding an ionic mineral blend to the water, it's the best. Those are called sprouts. Now, microgreens are the same thing. It's just done with soil. So I got this organic potting mix, and now the seeds can draw their nutrients from the soil as well as the water I'm going to be adding, this is done naturally. I probably should wash my seeds in hydroperoxide anyway, but I don't when it comes to microgreens because the soil is just better than just plain water. Using plain water, I don't know, the seeds develop more bacteria that way. But I've done this on road trips where I grow my own food in the car while I'm on a road trip, and wheatgrass got moldy. So it's smart to wash your seeds in hydroperoxide anyway. I have it lying around somewhere. I should probably do it. But for now, for this video, I'm just going to show you this real quickly, lickety split, and next batch. Broccoli sprouts only take 4 days to grow, and they grow in the dark. And the last day, you might want to put it in the sun if you want to get them a little bit bigger. But all the seed is contained in this. All the nutrients are contained in the seed. So that's why the sprouts are 2 to 3 times healthier than the actual food. So I thought this video was about to end. But anyway, just because it's organic doesn't mean it's healthy. There's tons of nitrogen and runoff material from fertilizers that are used. Organic just means they don't use pesticides, insecticides, herbicides. But you got tons of nitrogen from manure fertilizers that are disturbing the nutrients. When there's a lot of nitrogen in the soil, the plant that's growing, it focuses on growth instead of antioxidants and building protective barriers. So I know that's complicated and there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's tons of theories out there. The point I'm trying to make is just because it's organic doesn't mean it's good. So try and get a healthy soil and do it yourself. That's the best way to get healthy food, is to do it yourself. But I don't have the time. It's either you have the time for health or you're going to have the time for sickness. It's literally so fucking easy. The longest part is me explaining this all to you. So we're just going to jump right into it. And I'm going to set up my phone right here. And you're going to see how easy it is to make sprouts. So I'm just going to take my bag of soil. I got my organic soil. This shit's good. I mean, it's old soil, so it's a little clumpy. And I'm going to see if I can evenly distribute it. You don't need much, you really don't. That's the best part about it. And it's good if you have like an actual thing to evenly distribute. And let's just add a teeny weeny bit more. Evenly distribute, evenly distribute. There we go. That's gorgeous. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And this tray isn't big at all, you know? Just to give you a comparison, a standard college textbook, you know, small, it was like almost half the size, more than half the size of this. So it's not, you can even use the textbook to help pattern it down, you know, get it nice and flat and even. Sorry, music textbook. I don't really read my books, I just use it to fucking flatten my soil. And then, now do as I say, not as I do. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Usually you want a cup of seeds, that's all you need. But for the purpose of the video and being tired as fuck and it's late as fuck, I'm just gonna take, these broccoli seeds are so, look how small these seeds are. That is smaller, almost smaller than dirt, my friend. So you just, boop, you just let them go. Now, I'm just gonna try, this is way too much in one spot, but I'll even it out. And now, try and even that shit out. Equally distribute the seeds. You gotta be gentle with them so you don't crack it open. And you want to kind of have some of the dirt on top of the seeds. Remember, you want it to be simulating them. We're going to add a teeny weeny bit more. Oh, that is way too many seeds. Equally distribute. And I'll show you, for those of you who care, I'll show you what this process is going to look like when it's done. This is probably the most important part, is equally distributing it so it all rises nice and neat. And you get the most bang for your buck. The seed, $5. Soil lasts me so long. Just use a little bit of soil. And finally, last step. All we're going to do is add a little extra bit of soil on top. Not too much, literally less than a cup. Just so we can simulate them being buried, right? You don't want too much soil, and this is also going to help distribute those seeds as we move around. All right, I'll show you. All right, now you can't see the seeds as much. You can still kind of, we didn't add that much dirt. We're just equally distributing the seeds. It's gonna look so gorgeous, guys, when these things first come and sprout up. And now, there's a spring called Lovell Spring in New Hampshire. If you're interested to know the deets, I get my water for free. I fill up these water jugs, these massive, drive out to the water spring in New Hampshire, and literally free water, guys. I tested this water myself with water testing kits. Health is wealth. All right, so the last part, we're just gonna dabble a little. If I can open this one-handed, just gonna dabble a little bit just to get it going. You don't need much. I like to go zigzag. This is definitely too much water, but that's all you need. You only water it a teeny tiny bit every single day, and that's gonna evenly distribute throughout the entire thing. And I'll try and water it in like separate spots, zigzag, other way, up and down. Every day I'll show you guys. Quality matters, guys. What you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. And the last step finally is to simulate underground environment. So you want complete darkness. Okay. So they're underground. They are cooking. And in 2 days, not even, this tray is going to start to rise. In 3 days, this tray will be up here. In 4 days, we're going to trim them. So I'm going to pick this beautiful thing up. Try and keep it in a room temperature environment. I'm going to put it in my dark closet. My apologies, guys, for the mess. There are the sprouts. In my dark closet, as dark as it's gonna get. Can't be perfect. I mean, it can, but one step at a time, guys. Poor as shit. But, only financially rich because of the foods I eat, you know what I'm saying? But, basically, I'll keep you guys posted when it comes to that. Best part about them is broccoli sprouts have 2 to 4 times the nutritional sulforaphane as raw broccoli. Because the seed contains all the nutrients. Let's cheers real quick. Every sprout has its own grow time. Chickpea sprouts have 4 times the nutrients as chickpeas. Lentil sprouts have double the nutrients as lentils. So sprouting your food gives you twice as much nutrients. It's twice as cheap, sometimes 8 times as cheap, depending on where you get your sprouts. You can throw them in your sandwich. Throw your sprouts in your sandwich, throw your sprouts in your salads, throw your sprouts in your frickin' mouth. Raw. Cut them, eat them, throw them in your smoothies. Sprouts are one of the healthiest, nutriently dense foods in the world. Beans, whole grains, and nuts are technically all seeds. That's why they're super healthy in preventing cancer, because they're all seeds. And seeds are the most nutriently dense foods in the world because they store all the nutrients in the seed. When the plant grows, some of the nutrients spread out to the leaf. Some of the nutrients spread out to the shoots, to the stems, to the roots, to the flower, to the fruit. But the seed contains the entire genetic code. And that's why it's super, super good for you. So, that's the lesson for tonight. Cheers, mate. Oh, this is good water. Because a farmer labels it organic because he knows he can sell it for more, doesn't mean he can't just take a tomato from the unorganic section and put it in the organic section. So really trust who you get your produce from. Also, a spray bottle is probably best to really water the sprouts to equally distribute the water. Books from the shelf that I really want you to check out if you have the time. My favorite, The Kabbalion, the Definitive Edition by William Walker Atkinson. It's a very metaphysical book about the Hermetic principles of the universe and how it works. Another physics book is The Universal One by Walter Russell. I don't really like it that much though. It has a lot of wonky, out there ideas. But when it comes to health books, How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger was pretty profound. And of course his newer book that has outdated information in it, How Not to Diet, is also what we're going to be reading soon. And then we have Survival of the Sickest, if I can get the book out without time. There goes the Tower of Books. So Survival of the Sickest is also going to be the next book I read by Dr. Sharon Mullen. So check out those books if you have the time. Lord knows we don't have that anymore nowadays. Whatever you do, remember, love is all you need.